All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with Adam Martin. Let's give him a hand. Little air horn, get it warmed up. Yeah. Adam, how you doing, bud?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
So, doing awesome.
Yes. Adam works in the pits for Marco Andretti. And what's the group called? Chuck, you know.
His team?
Yeah, the team.
Oh, Andretti Global.
Andretti Global, that's right. So
That's right.
That's right. Look at us. We did our homework. All right. I'm going to start it off, guys. Adam, we obviously went to school together, so I would have never pictured you working in the pits for an IndyCar ever in my life. And when I saw the pictures, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, shout out to both the Martin boys for just really going out and freaking doing it, dude. And I'm like, absolute awesomeness. So, and that's going to lead us to the first question. When did you start working in the pits, or start getting interest to work on an IndyCar in the pits?
So it's kind of just luck. About a year ago, my brother got a call from a NASCAR team, and they were interested in him coming to try out for NASCAR pit crew. But looking more into it, he would have to move to Charlotte. And at the end of his football career, he was ready to be home.
For sure.
So that led to a call from Andretti, kind of the same deal. Hey, we'd love you to come over. And I've always loved racing. Been a big fan my whole life. So my brother kind of knew that, and he's just like, hey, can my brother come with me?
Beautiful.
That's awesome, dude.
What a good brother.
Wonderful brother.
Right.
So,
Wes a good dude? Is that Wes?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Wes
That's
is a
awesome.
good dude, man.
That's awesome.
And so we go over, and it's very casual. Like, they had him working at fuel. He's a big guy. He's tall. So that makes fueling a lot easier when you're tall and strong. And they started me out on front inside tire. It's a smaller tire, kind of get the grasp of things. So I want to say last February is when we first went over there, 2024. And I've just been going back, practicing with the team, pretty casually. And then beginning of 2025, I got to fly out to Thermal, California, and do live pit stops at a test out there. So that's when things kind of started ramping up. But
Nice.
it's been a lot of fun.
Oh man,
That
like I said, we do very very minuscule things with Scotty in the pits at Eldora, and we get a big thrill out of that. I can only imagine the thrill of that kind of that stage, be crazy. All right, Chuck, I know you got a question.
So, were you in any kind of pit crews before that, or was this just kind of a spur of the moment thing and you kind of ran with it?
No, it was totally random, spur of the moment. I walked in the shop there at Andretti, and just it was overwhelming.
Oh yeah,
I bet.
Right. So
you got legendary Indy cars on racks behind you.
That's awesome.
that had to
It
have
was
been really
cool.
cool to walk into.
Oh man, yeah, Chuck would be in heaven. Chuck,
Yeah,
you,
Chuck,
man,
you would
Chuck
be.
would be in heaven.
I'd be.
Yeah, JP,
we'd all be.
We all
in heaven.
would be, honestly. It's so crazy.
So I was going to ask you about interesting stories along the way, but it sounds like you pretty much covered the whole story of it. So what is, I know you said walking in and seeing all the cars, but what is the moment as far as interacting with the people you got to interact with that it really set in the position that you were getting an opportunity at?
Well, at first, like I said, they had me at front inside tire, and everybody's real friendly over there. So everybody's kind of got pointers. We have a coach that does a really good job of teaching all positions. He was in IndyCar for a really long time. But I want to say last year around Thanksgiving, he kind of switched it up and put me at outside rear tire. So I have a little more ground to cover running around the car when it comes in. But even then, it's just a good group of guys that like to teach and help out, and
Now,
pretty welcoming.
when you say inside, outside, would inside be taking it off and outside putting it on? Or
He's
no,
talking about the
so-
inside. Like the inside is probably the turn. Like what's he closer to the turn, and the outside just kind of.
You know
what
what
I'm saying?
inside-
You know what inside and outside is. Come on, what are you talking about?
Oh, it just side of the car.
Just
Sorry,
side of
that's
the-
no. I was picturing
The
Sorry
tire
about that.
itself.
He's picturing the tire.
I was
itself.
too. I was
picturing-
too.
No,
when
I never
Honestly,
first
I was
heard it.
picturing a Formula One pit stop. Is what I was.
So that's
doing.
what's interesting with IndyCar is we have pit roads that go both directions.
Oh, nice.
Right.
So and like NASCAR, in most cases, they're coming down. You're turning left
We
the whole
turn left,
time, and
baby.
you're coming.
We just turn left in NASCAR.
You're coming off. You're coming into pit road, and driver's side is going to be closest to pit wall. Well, in IndyCar, that switches. Different tracks. Like we were just in Detroit, and the way that pit lane is set up, it's like a very wide pit lane with pit road in the middle, and then pit walls on both sides. So half of IndyCar is doing, opposite stops.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it does. I just never. I guess I never thought about it like that.
So in that situation, then you're always the outside tire, then the outside right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Right.
That
Gotcha.
makes sense.
Gotcha.
Yep.
You guys
I-
know
I,
going into
I wouldn't
the race.
necessarily. Yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily be like rear right side tire or rear left side tire because that can change.
Gotcha.
race to
Got you.
race.
Got you.
Yep.
Nice.
You just have to be on the outside or the inside, whichever your position is. That's awesome.
Correct.
Gotcha. That's very interesting. Go ahead, Eddie.
So, all right. So I have a question for you. Actually, it's one of our people in
Viewers.
the podcast as well have.
They're called viewers, Eddie.
Yeah, viewers. well, my buddy as well. He has a question for you that ties into this. How much interaction do you have with the drivers, and what other drivers have you worked with, if any?
Well, he hasn't worked with any other drivers, obviously.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah.
he asked also, have you met Mario?
Mark, yeah.
I have met Mario.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Nothing more than just shaking his hand.
Nice.
Got you. But
That's still a me.
Yeah,
That's
hell
still
yeah,
a
dude.
me.
That's
More
me,
than
dude.
I've
you-
done.
So yes, Scott, he
hasn't washed that
That's
hand
awesome.
ever since. No, I'm just kidding.
So one of the cool things is like leading up this whole season, I've been able to travel with the team, and I've been in the 28 box of Marcus Ericsson, just helping out, kind of getting familiar with the race, kind of procedures, what happens before the race, the day before, qualifying, practices. And Marcus is a super cool guy. Like he'll come in the garage and hang out and talk to everybody.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of shaking
I
hands,
see
I shook
Colton-
his hand
I
at
see
a gas
Colton and
station.
Kyle. I
Sorry.
just don't. Everybody kind of sticks with their car,
Yeah.
but they're all super nice guys.
Yeah. It's kind of like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
we talk to other drivers sometimes, but most of the time it's down to business most of the time.
Absolutely.
Yep.
How many cars does the team have? Just the two?
So there's 3 full-time cars that run the full points season, which is Colton Herta, Marcus Ericsson, and Kyle Kirkwood. Which Kyle just won in Detroit a couple days ago, so that was
Sweet.
a good win for Andretti.
Nice.
Nice.
Let's get my hand.
For sure.
And then the 4th car at Indy is cool because that does allow, guys like myself who I don't necessarily have that experience everybody else has. So I get an opportunity to go over the wall for a team like that versus getting thrown right into a full-time, points team.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good way to do it.
All right. I'm going to ask the next one.
That's fine.
This is JP Donovan's phone. Who is the mentor or person you give most credit for getting you into your position? I know you said, I guess you would say Wes, since he kind of brought you there, but yeah, who was your mentor
Yeah.
now? Who helped? I guess you just said. You just said that too, so it kind of answered on both these questions. So would you say he was your mentor?
Yeah, I would say that. Also, our coach over at Andretti he's awesome.
Nice.
Very helpful. So I'm in an interesting spot where those guys get to practice every day, and living in West Milton, it's not easy to get over there
Yeah.
every day and still working a full-time job. So he works with my schedule, and I try to get over there once a week to practice. And even if their schedule doesn't line up, he still makes himself available to do like static work. And when I say static work, it's we have a practice car, but sometimes it's not always easy to find somebody to drive the car.
I'll drive it.
So we'll just put put the car up.
No,
and just
do not let him
practice-
drive it.
Practice mounting and getting on the hub,
That's cool.
stuff like that.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah. I'm Fees. I got a couple questions for you. They kind of go hand in hand with each other. How do you guys like practice? Like, how do the crew members practice? Like, what's your guys' like? I guess like your normal. If you would go to practice, how like football practice, you go and you
run the plays.
running plays. Are you guys just running live stops all the time, or is there like different training stuff you guys have to do?
So we'll work on different things. Different tracks call for different car setups. So in practice, our practice car, it's electric. It doesn't have necessarily all the on-track car features, but like we'll run different wings on it if it's a super speedway or road course. But we'll practice wing changes and kind of different scenarios where people get moved around and are not necessarily in their, true position.
Yeah.
Just so everybody's ready when the time comes. But no, we'll run a full scale. It's live pit stops in the shop, and it's loud. People complain.
Yeah.
they're trying to work, but
it's like, hey, you know what? We're an important part.
We're trying to
gotta
work
practice.
too.
That also brings me into a question. What are like some of the differences between like an IndyCar pit stop and a NASCAR pit stop? Besides like a time difference, because I feel like IndyCar pit stops are way faster. Like that's I feel like that's an obvious, but I guess like
it's.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. So IndyCar, we're gonna have a tire changer for each tire. So I'll go back to the inside outside. So inside, I'll say, is in between the car and pit wall. So you'll have a front and a rear tire changer there. And then I've been working outside rear, and then we'll have an outside front guy. Versus NASCAR, you have you have two tire carrier. I'm sorry. You have one tire carrier and two tire changers.
Gotcha.
So those guys, you'll have one guy run around the front, guy run around the back, and then a tire carrier, carrying both the new tires around the car.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's just
That's crazy.
it's just set up differently.
And it's just part of the
They
rules.
also
The rules you said.
I would say that's part of the rules.
Yeah.
Like they're allowed to have 4, and
Gotcha,
NASCAR's allowed
gotcha.
to have 3.
Got you. Okay.
Fuel cans, and we have a fuel hose that's hooked up to a tank on pit road.
Which we seen at the Indy 500 because that one caught on fire, and we seen it
and
going.
so I have a quick question about that. The hose that you guys spray before they take off, is that just water to make sure that there's not an ignition from the fueling?
sorry, are you guys there?
Yeah. Can
sorry.
you hear us? You're the cord.
My headphones keep disconnecting.
There we go.
Sorry about
You
that.
guys
We got
back?
it. We got yeah, we have the dongle. The old dongle. It's janky over here.
Sometimes it doesn't like
Sometimes
that.
it might have been
No.
us. So I made Fee put his phone down real quick. So, but go ahead, Chuck.
Oh,
you
you're good.
re-ask that question.
So I've been to some races and I've seen some pit stops, and I noticed that right as the car's taking off, you guys spray the car. Is that just water spraying to prevent
Yeah, so
ignition?
that's water in a pressurized can just to kind of spray off any fuel spillage.
Nice.
That's what I assumed, but I never knew for sure. That's cool.
Yep, sometimes you get sprayed with it.
Now, I mean, yeah, did you have any like mechanic like experience before this, or was this kind of your first thing, just going straight into it? Like,
That's a question from our chat.
yeah, our chat asked. I was like, that's a good question. I don't know.
They're called viewers.
That's a callback, baby.
Followers.
Son of a gun. Viewers.
Hey, we'll call them fans.
Yeah, fans.
There
I
you
love it.
go.
I love it. So,
No,
yeah, nice.
none whatsoever.
Well, what a
Now
way
a
to
lot of
learn.
the guys on the pit crews in IndyCar are also the mechanics.
Okay.
So it's kind of a different culture than NASCAR. NASCAR, pretty much all those pit crews are, retired athletes or
Yeah, that's what
You
I
know, college-
thought.
college football players that didn't go pro. They're
That's who makes up
And-
the race pit. You're like, I
Yeah,
would have
it
never in a
really is.
million
Yeah. Oh,
years
yeah.
thought
I had no.
that these dudes are chasing after, but it makes sense.
I mean-
you need to be able to move.
Yeah.
You need to kind of be
And
able to
that's
hold
right.
your own. You need to be able to lift some shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
boy,
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I didn't know
like
either.
it.
That's crazy. That's
That's
cool.
badass, dude. I love that.
NASCAR could have a heck of an athletic competition with their pit
Yeah,
crews.
yeah.
Man.
Anybody who works
That's
for
awesome.
NASCAR, you get your best 11 guys, and we'll see you on the football field. And they show up with some elite guys. You're like, what? Oh man, that's cool. That is. I didn't know that either, man. That's wild.
Are we asking more, or can I ask a personal question?
You go ahead, Eddie. That's fine.
Hey, so I have a question for you, buddy. Like, I know your mother is Rhonda Martin.
Right?
I know
Yeah.
this. I know this because my wife and your mother know each other quite well. And we actually, do you know your mom's 3-legged dog that she had a while back, Madden?
yeah.
Okay, that is our dog now.
Eddie's,
my
Eddie-
wife,
Eddie's got the dog.
my wife and
awesome.
my wife and I adopted Madden like forever ago. Like your mom, as soon as your mom sent Robin a picture of it, she was like, "Oh my god, I gotta have that dog." So it was.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was one of those. We've been up there quite a few times to the Brave Breed Rescue, and she does awesome work, man. She's doing awesome things for those animals. So
Yeah.
he's living his best
She
life, bro.
works. That's awesome. I'm
He's
glad to
living
hear that.
living his best life, man.
Now, if I remember right, Madden was attacked by wolves
She said that. So from what I
or
understand, they
coyotes. Or
think he was found. They think he was caught in a coyote trap and possibly chewed his own leg off to get out of it, but also had to battle coyotes in the process. They say that coyotes don't take
Okay.
a leg and run; they kill.
Yeah.
They kill and leave what they
Gotcha.
don't take. So
Yeah.
they said it's very unlikely that he actually had a leg grabbed by a coyote, that they just ripped it off and took off. That they say he probably chewed his leg off to get out of whatever trap he was caught in. But
What a
he's got
small world.
He's got scars
That's-
all over him, man. But he's the happiest dog in the world. He's a little bit hateful to other people that aren't in our family. He don't like other people very much, but he's an awesome dog, man. We love him to death.
No, that's awesome.
I got one real quick last question. Do you follow dirt racing at all?
A couple years ago I followed it. I think I still pay for my Flow subscription.
Nice. Well, the dream is this weekend at Eldora, and I was just gonna ask if you had a winner. Who do you think's gonna win it? But if you don't know anybody, it's okay. No worries.
Yeah,
Is Bobby Pierce racing?
Bobby Pierce.
I'm riding with Bobby Pierce. You can ride with me, Adam.
we'll go
taking,
with that.
taking
there
my
we go.
pick.
You know,
He's taking
it's
my
funny.
pick.
I said before I was a huge NASCAR fan and, racing fan in general, but outside of the Indy 500, I didn't pay that much attention. So I've kind of, since I've gotten into this, I've been trying to put all my focus into
Absolutely.
Yep. Learning
You know.
everything.
I don't blame
just
you
the
there.
drivers and different teams. And it's
I
been
would
a
be
lot of
taking
fun.
all the knowledge in too if
Oh,
I was
man.
doing that. You know what I mean? You got to.
Well, you're in an amazing position to learn. I mean,
He's got to have
you-
tunnel vision at that point, though. You're not worried about what other racers are doing necessarily, unless you're told, "Hey, we got to watch these guys and make sure that we know kind of some of what they're doing." Type
Yeah.
shit. Yeah,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Guys, let's give Adam a
That's
hand.
great, man. Thanks for your time,
Adam,
bro.
we appreciate you, man. This is awesome. It was our first kind of a interview that we kind of have with someone who, a little bit has a cool connection. So we appreciate.
Hey,
your
I wish I had cooler stories. I wish.
Nah.
Nah,
wish-
dude,
You'll
we
get
still-
them. You'll
that
get
was-
them.
we
that was
learn
cool.
stuff, man. That's the thing is I didn't know that athlete or not ex-athletes
No,
are still
I didn't.
athletes, but
That was awesome.
like I didn't know half this stuff. So I mean, as long as you learn something, it's not a loss. So
I'll
yeah.
let you guys know when I get another opportunity to go over the wall.
yep,
Oh, yeah,
Nice.
man.
we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you,
rest
Adam.
of the night.
Yep.
Yeah,
We appreciate you,
buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Adam.
thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Talk to
you.
you later.
That was awesome.
That was great, man.
Dude, how about that?
That was awesome.
I would have never guessed in a million years that.
Who would have thought they chase ex-athletes, ex-football players?
Yeah,
I knew that only because like I've seen stories of like guys that
right.
like got hired,
which makes sense of why they wanted Wes to come out because he.
Yeah, for sure. But
makes-
Wes is like,
What?
nah,
My
I'm
brother-
good.
my brother-
I'm good. Yeah, look at this.
What?
Look
Have
at
you
my
guys-
brother.
what a
Watch-
sick opportunity for Adam though.
Yeah,
That's
awesome,
badass.
dude.
That's
Awesome.
badass.
Have you
So,
guys watched any NASCAR this year?
I don't,
Yeah, I've watched
I've
some.
not watched it.
They've
Any
started-
year, really.
They've started doing the starting lineups for the pit crews and like doing backgrounds for the pit crews and
That's
stuff
sick.
like that. And I think that's because they're putting more money into them, so they're trying to get more out of them.
Well,
Why
it's-
not?
Maybe it's because they realize they're
I think
important.
it's fun.
Well, they're already just because they didn't make it to the professional league they were trying to doesn't mean that they haven't already developed, the habits of working out and promoting, and like they can make the sport better. The more people that people can like attach to, so it's pretty cool that they do that.
So something happened in F1, didn't it, Chuck?
Yeah, so kinda. It was Barcelona. So in Spain, that's a track that everybody comes up testing at. So everybody knows the track, like they could drive it blindfolded probably. So it's not really the most exciting race. But in Formula One, one of the best things that can happen as a spectator is you're sitting there, there's about 10 laps left, you're already figuring out what you're about to do, bam, safety car comes out. So everybody pits, gets fresh tires, and you get a few lap shootout to the end of the race. That's what you want every race, preferably. And so when they all did that, everybody put their soft tires on because those are the grippiest tires. And Red Bull only had a hard tire for Max Verstappen. And after that, it got very interesting, as you can see in the video here. So right here, when they take off, Max Verstappen gets real loose. You'll see it if you guys watch it on. I don't know if you guys can see it at all, but as soon as he punched it, he almost lost it. So he bumps in with Charles Leclerc here, but that's not the thing. And when they come into the corner here, George Russell comes from behind and tries to dive bomb him.
Russell tussle.
and he bumps Verstappen off. Verstappen takes this little escape route. So by rule, you can't overtake. So he's thinking that he's where he's supposed to be. But if you watch the replay here, if the front axle's ahead of the car, he has the corner, which I still can't see how they said George had the corner. But he had to give the spot back to George. And when he does that, Max lets him by into the corner and then accelerates and bumps into him on purpose right here. Just to, boom, just like, hey, buddy, whatever. And he ends up giving the spot back. He gets a 10-second penalty. He ends up finishing 10th instead. He parked his car before anybody else even got to the pits and just went straight to the back. It's prime Max Verstappen.
Yeah,
so.
for
And
sure.
we only got that because of the safety car at the end of the race. So what was probably going to be one of the most boring races of the year actually turned out to be. Everybody's still talking about it. So it's pretty interesting.
That's funny. So we got some other racing this
Yeah,
weekend.
so I talked a little bit about it with Adam. The Dream is this weekend, and that means that's some big time racing at Eldora. The late models come to town. A lot of drivers. A lot of drivers are in there. Our boy Drake Troutman will be there. Like I said, I want him to carry over that momentum from the 100K.
I sounded just like a fucking late model.
160 up for grab.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a nice,
off topic,
nice little
but my
2 week
Reese's
form?
are like fucking water.
They melted like
Hell yeah,
I
dude!
bet.
I just grabbed one. It was like,
91.
oh my god,
It's a cool
oh
91.
my god.
Some of the big names on Thursday night. We got JP's pick to win it all. Tyler Carpenter. Shannon Babb is going to be racing Thursday night. Tyler Erb. I know that he's a lot of people's favorite. Turbo gives the best interviews. If we could ever get an interview from him, he's so funny. You could literally just clown the whole time. He loves it.
I'll get one.
Yeah,
I'll go.
Scotty
I'll
Scotty
go-
knows him.
I'll
Scott-
go try to get one on Saturday.
Yeah, just dude, he's funny. Drake Troutman races on Thursday night. We also got Bobby Pierce racing on Thursday night. Bobby Pierce is my pick to win it. Also, sounds like it's Nick.
Damn,
Nick
I
and Adam's
kinda, I
pick
kind
too.
of want to go on
Yep.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. No, wait till you hear, dude. Friday night's got a lot of bangers too.
I'll just wait until Saturday.
Devin Moran, Dale McDowell, Hudson O'Neal, some big names racing on Thursday. Josh Rice, Kentucky boy, Joseph Joyner, Hunt the Front, be racing. Also racing this weekend, Scotty Williams racing. He just said it in the chat. He's going to be racing this weekend as well. Doesn't know where yet, but he's going to be letting us know, so that's exciting. Friday night, some of the names we got. Tyler's dad, Freddie
Yeah.
Carpenter, will be there. Shane Clanton,
Fast Freddy.
yeah, Fast Freddie. Jonathan Davenport, always a solid pick to win it. That dude is unbelievably good at
Killer
Eldora.
last year.
Yeah, he's so good at Eldora.
I think he swept the year.
I think he might be right. He killed it. Who else we got? We got Ricky Thornton Jr. racing. Dylan Thornton, the kid who won that.
Ricky Thornton Jr.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He's a pick to win it too.
He's good.
Dylan Thornton, he's the one who won that competition that Scotty was in to get.
Yeah, we're rooting for him.
It's just pretty cool to see him there.
Yeah.
Brandon Overton, Tim McCready. Who else we got?
I
on
hope
there?
he makes the show.
Chris Madden. So yeah, some big names racing this weekend. Like I said, I'm personally going with Bobby Pierce. A little cool story about Bobby Pierce.
I got a picture of it.
Bobby Pierce's car that he's running this weekend is a throwback to one of his dad's cars that his dad used to race at Eldora at the Dream, and it's a clean looking car.
It is.
So here's Bobby's dad's car.
It's Bobby's dad car.
That's Bobby Senior, right?
It's Bobby mom.
Bobby
I couldn't help myself. Oh man.
And here's the Bobby's car is running at the Dream.
Yeah,
So clean.
I love when people do that.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
so clean.
And who was the one who won the sweepstakes? That
Dylan Thornton.
okay. He was the one you were just okay.
Yeah.
The
Well,
one
there's
that
Ricky
won
Thornton
the
Jr.
opportunity to drive
Correct.
the car.
That's
Yeah,
Dylan
yeah, yeah.
Thornton. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good looking car.
Well, good. Hopefully
looking
he
car.
wins then.
Scotty also said Wednesday night is Flow Racing in America or Flow Night in America. I think JP's going to that.
Yeah,
It's the
for
High
sure.
Limit Racing.
For sure.
Yeah. Is that what it is? High Limit, or is it
Is that
late
tom-
model?
is that you said tomorrow night?
It's sprint cars. Rico will be there. Kyle might be there.
Nice.
Brad Sweet.
Christian Webb said Pierce has been killing it this year. Yeah, that's why he's my pick. I just feel like he's set to.
He's my pick too.
Yeah, I just
And
feel like
because
he's
he's
set
driving
to-
a dope ass car.
Yeah, it's cool.
So.
Yeah, that's
All
our
right,
reason.
hey, let's shout out to Scotty Williams Racing. Shout out to Adam
Go win
Martinberg.
one this weekend.
Yes,
Scotty.
go get one, brother. We got you, bro. We got you.
Sir.
Big shout out to Adam as well.
Yes,
And-
thank you.
Pit
was awesome.
crew member for Andretti. That was great.
That was great.
I learned so much I didn't know, and I'm gonna be watching a little bit.
Scott
IndyCars
Snelling
now.
said too that was
So-
a great interview. He enjoyed.
I did see that.
So,
Yeah.